Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I wanted to add some more context to the virtual conference that took place today. So T-Mobile's Neville Ray, Braxton Carter, they were at a virtual conference, the Moffett Netsons. I hope I said that right. It was a virtual investor conference that took place today. And of course, Neville Ray and Braxton Carter gave them an update on how the merger's going, the network and such. So what Neville was saying in this conference is that currently right now, they're projecting to do 1,000 overlays a month moving into May and June. So you would say, okay, that's not a lot of sites. Based on this, it would take them maybe like 66 months to do all the cell sites that they have, kind of basic math. They said they have around 66 to 67,000 cell sites. If you can only do 1,000 a month, it would take you 66 to 67 months, which is much longer than anticipated. But then I listened in on the call. He did state that once more local governments reopen, he thinks the projections are showing that they can do push as many as 5,000 overlays per month, which he says that's where they're kind of going to flatline. He doesn't think they're going to be able to push it much more than the 5,000. And that's probably due to the financial situation. They could probably do more, but the CapEx is still going to be constrained. Although they are going to spend more, they don't have unlimited funds. So the 5,000 is probably where they're going to flatline. And I think that's a pretty good number. But what he said during the conference, he says that his competition is probably not expecting or don't think that this is happening as fast as it is. And I could tell you guys from my internal sources that I have, with AT&T and Verizon, they are anticipating the layovers to be done as quickly as 6 to 9 months. They don't think they know the ins and outs. They have their own network engineers. They know how long it takes to add equipment onto the cell sites. It doesn't take that long. It only does take long if you have permitting issues or if you can't come to the agreement with the renters on the added equipment on the cell sites. That could take a bit longer. But overall, it does not take that long to add new equipment to a cell site that's already up and running. But what his competition is anticipating, I could tell you guys with confidence what's going to take the longest is the network expansion. All of the promises that they have made to cover 99% of rural America with this amount of speed, that's going to take the longest out of the whole integration process. So again, integrating the network itself is not that big of a deal because they can quickly add the equipment onto the cell sites that are already existing. They've already displayed that. They did it in Philadelphia. They did it in New York City. So in other cities that they plan on doing next, it's not going to take that long. But what is going to take the longest is the network expansion itself into the suburban areas, in some areas, the rural areas. And then in some areas still, they're going to have to expand even further into urban markets, more densification with the Sprint keep sites. Then they got to decommission the Sprint sites. They got to integrate the billing systems. So all of that is going to take much longer than the actual layovers, the overlays of the network. The overlays are going to happen pretty quickly. I'm sure you guys have already anticipated. I mean, just look at how quickly they're doing the Band 71 installs. Those are overlays. They're just taking old equipment off the site and adding new equipment on it. It's happening quickly. I've seen a network team do a 3-sector site with Band 71 panels in like 47 minutes. So that does not happen. It happens quickly. If you have the manpower, if you have the team in place, you could do that really, really quickly. And of course, it does take funds. And I said that in one of my other videos. If you want to beat the competition, you got to outspend them. So we will see what kind of an impact the additional funding is going to have. Like I stated in the last video, they're going from 1.7 billion to roughly around 2.8 to 2.9 billion, which is more in a quarter than the company has ever spent. So just keep that in mind. So there is going to be more traffic, more movement, just based on the fact that they're spending roughly 1.2 to 1.3 billion more in quarter two. But like I said, they're still not spending as much as Verizon and AT&T. So those guys are going to be able to do more. Like I said in my video, AT&T is already covering 2.6 million square miles. Verizon says they're doing more than 2.6. So their networks are large. And that's something that T-Mobile is going to have to compete with. Tech Extremist just recently did a trip. If you haven't seen his videos, I will post them in the description down below. He sent me a summary, and he said that T-Mobile is just not up to par yet. They're either lacking backhaul. He says they have sites with plenty of spectrum. They're not pushing out good speeds. So it's just the network builds aren't as good as what Verizon and AT&T are doing. Verizon was more consistent. AT&T had the better peak speeds. But eventually, with the funding that AT&T is doing with FirstNet, they will get there as well. So it's really up to T-Mobile on how they proceed. They could be a powerhouse, but they have to push a lot of money. And in my opinion, I said it before, they have to push more money than what they're investing to do all of the things that they want to do. They want to incorporate the small cells, new sites, decommission Sprint sites, expand the network into all the rural places. Like I said, AT&T has been spending money for 3 years now, maybe even 2, and they're only like 50% done with rural America, according to the recent article that they released. So they have another 50% to go, and that's already investing a pretty heavy amount into that. So that's just something that T-Mobile has to do, and they have so many different projects that they can really do that it just seems like their money is just not enough. So let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Of course, I will leave this article so you guys can read it in its entirety in the description down below. But again, like I said, this is really good news. Neville is on it. He says they're going to deploy 50, 60 megahertz quickly, 1,000 sites per month projection for the first 2 months. And then come July and August, it seems that once more local governments are opening, they want to push roughly around 5,000 cell sites per month. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have been on the channel, you can go ahead and end the video now. But if you are new, make sure you hit that notification bell so you are notified when I upload content. If you have a Twitter, make sure to follow my Twitter. I will post the videos on there. YouTube has not been pushing out notifications in a timely manner. A lot of you have been complaining in the emails. So make sure you guys follow my Twitter so you guys can get the videos there. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.